Hey there, guys. So I know I said I was kind of done with Clash of Wills, but it is my favorite content in the game. I really enjoy playing around with it and puzzle solving. So, in order to challenge myself, we're going to do a perfect score, rank 1 video, all modifiers turned on, with only 4 units on the party. So, let's do it. That being said, this is purely a challenge run just for my own amusement. This is not specifically intended as a guide, but I will be posting a turn chart if you want to follow along. Or you can use the exact same strategy and just add 2 extra units. Easy clap. Anyway, we're going to turn on all modifiers. Now, you might be wondering, how am I doing that with a 4-man party? Well, in order to meet the EX levels, I'm forced to bring a full party just for EX levels, or I couldn't turn on the modifiers at all. So on turn 1, Sid is going to jump out of here. They're both naked. Sid, 15 turn jump, get out of here. Kefka is going to hide the entire fight. They are both naked. They are going to literally contribute nothing. I am just forced to bring them in order to do this challenge run, or I couldn't turn on the modifiers. The real party is going to be Bulwark, Sylvie, Chizuru, and Sky. All we need is 4 units. Let's get in here and do it. All missions, perfect score, 300% modifier, 4 unit party. So, give it just a second. Okay, so like I said, Kefka is going to just hide for the entirety of the fight. Sid is going to 15 turn jump the entirety of the fight. They're not going to contribute anything at all. Sid, get out of here. Kefka, get out of here. Okay, now let's do the proper 4-man party like I mentioned. So, Chizuru on turn 1 is going to Strong Samurai, Eastern Winds, and Orochi. That's going to imbue the party with wind, among other things. Paladin Sylvie is going to Gravel Basket, Petals, and we're going to Compassionate. That is going to imbue the party with Earth for a few turns. So now that we've got Wind and Earth, we're going to go ahead and use Sky's LB to stack it up. Accuracy down the boss. Also, that's going to seal him with Wind and Earth. Bulwark is our provoker, using obviously the Morgana staff. He is going to be doing Morale Fill and Mixtape. We don't really need to cast Mascaphony because he's going to die, and then Sylvie is going to take over provoking, and she will counter and get him back alive because Sylvie is just broken. Also, Sylvie will handle all the mana restore with her counters because crazy. She is our tank. Now you might be wondering about, what are we going to do with the accuracy turns? Well, Sylvie answered everything. Okay, so she's going to go ahead and counter and get our people back alive, exactly what we wanted. Okay, Sky in the base form is now going to use his Magnus to break the boss, and both the attacks. Sky is using the Dark Bow to apply Blind. Chizuru is going to Beast Pulverizer to give us Beast Killer. Sylvie is going to triple. We're going to, on this turn, we're going to do Defense to Mirage the first few AoEs. We're going to do her Magnus, so we have mitigation for that dot coming later. And we're going to Resolve for the healing for the dot coming later. Now, because the boss is going to have accuracy and he's going to hurt, we're going to use, what's your boy's name? Bulwark in the base form. We're going to go ahead and Chirrup, and we're going to use Jaunty Jubilee for even more mitigation on our Sylvie. Now, this turn won't be too bad. Next turn is going to be the painful turn, but, we've got plans. So the boss does cure his blind, which is kind of sucky, but whatever. Lots of Mirage. So this turn hurts a little bit. You saw that 12k hit. Some of the hits are pretty powerful, but next turn is the real painful turn. But again, we have a plan. So the boss only cures his blind on the turns he applies his accuracy buff. So this turn, he is not going to cure his blind. Unfortunately, we have to stack up Sky this turn, so she can't blind in the base form with the Dark Bow. So, Kefka, no Kefka. This fight, you're not allowed. Get out of here. Goodbye, Kefka. Thank you. Anyway, back to what we were doing. So, Sky is going to shift and stack up again, apply accuracy down, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go ahead and shift Chizuru. Also, Sky hitting the boss just sealed him with Wind and Earth. Now Chizuru is going to spring Windblade to start getting her 100% amp good to go for later. we're going to use Bulwark on Ramuh to blind the boss. So now the boss is blinded for the most dangerous turn, so most of these attacks should miss. We're going to go ahead and shift our Chizuru, or our Sylvie. We're going to now go ahead and do the Marion Blessing Earth to get ready for the 100% amp for later. And we're going to just Cheerful twice to fill morale gauge. Now this turn is going to be a little bit of RNG. We need a decent chunk of the powerful attacks to miss because of blind. Hopefully they do, because the gravity takes away lots of our health from our Sylvie. There's half of Sylvie's health right away. A few of the attacks are going to our Bulwark, who is, the boss is missing everything. Well, there we go. Okay, so this turn was really easy because the boss missed a ton because of blind. Yeah, blind is really important that turn. And here we go with some counter healing and all that goodness. Alright, so turn 4. If you remember, Sylvie's Magnus removes other imbues. We lost our Wind imbue because of Sylvie's Magnus. So what we're going to do, we're going to shift Bulwark this turn, and we're going to apply Hurricane, which is a 60% wind amp for the party, and we're also going to just morale fill again. And the reason we're shifting, of course, is for the rod. This turn, Sylvie is going to go ahead and Insect Killer on Chizuru, because that's the big DPS here. Insect on Chizuru. And we're going to double Cheerful. That's going to seal the boss, because now we're back to being imbued with Earth and Wind. Chizuru is going to Tyvis' Spirit, and base form Sky is going to Tyvis' Spirit as we get ready for bursting next turn. Okay, so the morale didn't fill all the way. That's fine. We should still overcap, which is not really a big problem. We do have a damage over time effect right now, though, so that's a little bit painful, but we should be okay. We should be okay. I hope. We'll see. Anyway, it is now time for the burst. Okay, so one problem right now is we no longer have Sylvie's Magnus for big general mitigation. So what we're going to do, we're going to use Bulwark to base form LB to apply big mitigation, barriers, etc. Sylvie is going to shift the LB so that we can apply the damage. Oh, Kefka, what are you doing here? No, get away. Anyway, Sylvie is going to do her shifted LB, which is going to buff the party for LB damage and all that. And we're going to tag chain LB with Chizuru. Then we're going to shift and cap that tag chaining with Sky. Let's go ahead and attack and magic buff first. And we should damage cap, I hope at least. So this and then Sky. 1, 2, and we did 3 billion with only 4 units. Okay, here's the threshold. Unfortunately, we did lose a ton of health from the damage over time, but that Kefka, my god, you are not allowed in this fight. Please leave. Autocasting. Kefka is like really wanting to join this fight, but he is not allowed. Anyway, turn 6. Okay, so turn 6, the boss has these irritating buffs. Now we can't remove the stat buffs, but we can remove the damage reduction buff. So we're going to go ahead and go to the shift form of Bulwark, and we're going to dispel the boss's damage reduction buff. So as you can see, that is gone, but the stat buffs are still here. Sky is going to go to the base form. Oh yeah, we need to do imbues and all. So Sylvie in this form is going to go to the base form. Now we're going to go ahead and put the Earth imbue back up, and then we're going to resolve and compassionate to get some healing, because as you can see, Sky is a little bit hurt right now. Alright, we're also going to barrier the party. We're going to defense buff the party. This turn is going to be a little bit painful. Alright, Chizuru, or hold on a second. Yeah, Chizuru is going to in the base form. We're going to, I got a list here. We're going to focus strength. We're going to focus body for the mitigations. And we're going to Eastern Winds to reapply Imperils. Okay, and Sky is going to break the boss, Furious, and Battering. And I guess we can do a defense attack and magic buff. Okay, here we go. So we have the damage over time still, so it's going to be a little bit painful, but not too bad. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And then the healing over time takes us up. Okay, so we've got 5-stack Mirage from Chizuru. There are some AoEs this turn. And then the rest go to Sylvie, and she should tank this no problem. This turn isn't really a big dangerous turn. Also, we blinded the boss because of Dark Bow on our Sky. And there we go. Okay, so the boss does still have stat buffs, So we're not going to do our burst again yet. So this turn, we're going to go ahead and get that chain. Kefka, you are the worst. Your random duration hide. Okay, so we're going to do the chain count mission this turn. So let's go ahead and heal the party a little bit. Let's go ahead and do attack and magic buff. So Sky is going to just triple bolting. We're going to just beast pulverizer with Sky. We're going to shift Bulwark. And he's going to do Scarlet Wave, which is triple bolting strike. And Sylvie's going to shift and do triple bolting strike. And this will give us that 100 count chain count score, because we haven't done it yet, and we're never going to do the 100 count chain score except for this turn. So we'll go ahead and chain all these guys up. And this turn, the boss doesn't have any accuracy. So there is the 100 count chain score. Outstanding. Okay. No accuracy this turn, which is awesome. We don't really care if he dies. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and burst and finish off the boss. So, Kefka, you're making me angry. Okay, so as you can see, the boss is fully debuffed. Kefka needs to get out of here, because this is. I wish we had 2 Sids. I could bring 2 Sids and just jump another one, because Kefka keeps trying to come back. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, Sylvie is now going to Insect Killer on our Chizuru. We're going to offense for a big stat buff for the party, and we're going to do I've Got Your Back on Chizuru for a bigger LB damage buff. We don't really need anything from Bulwark, so we can ignore him. Let's go ahead and do a bigger attack and magic buff. And Chizuru can shift here. And we're going to LB, and Sky will shift. And LB, and that should be the end of the boss with 4 units per score. So you, and then Sky. Boom. Perfect score. 4 units. Sid was in the sky the entirety of the fight. And Kefka was literally naked and did nothing but hide every single turn. Now, if you want to use that same strategy as a real team, by all means, replace Sid and Kefka with whatever you want. Perfect score. Perfect score. Very, very easy Clash of Wills if you have Chizuru. Obvious reasons. Chizuru, very strong here. Basically carries the entire thing. So there it is. There is our all mission perfect score with only 4 units. Now I'll show you the gear and the stuff we used. Okay, so party slot 1 on Ramu with the blind and the dispel magic learned. We've got our Bulwark, passive provoke, Celestite Rod, a source of guts in the base form, and a source of auto mirage in the base form. The reason for this is so that when he takes the death and comes back, he's going to passive provoke, auto mirage the first big hit, guts the second big hit, die to the third big hit. That way, the first 3 big tank killing attacks always go to Bulwark and not our Sylvie. And then Sylvie only eats the weaker attacks after the first 3. And then he's got full evasion, stone for morale fill, and then Sylvie's card for morale fill. Shift form, basically the same thing, but Scarlet Wave, so we can do the triple bolting strike chaining. I don't think we even technically needed that, because I think we had our. It doesn't matter. We did it, so there it is. And then there is our Bulwark build. Now he did basically just morale fill. And, the Magnus on Sylvie on turn 2 is kind of a big deal, because the turn 3 is really painful. And he helped out with that. Sylvie, in both forms, geared identical. Double Blizzard Orb for lots of countering. Her TMR or STMR, passive provoke. Make sure she is not higher passive provoke than Bulwark. So exactly 100 from double Moogle Charm, and then exactly 100 from the Diadem. Full evasion. And the reason she was permanently silenced is because the stupid Curse Shield gives you permanent silence. You can't remove it, but whatever. It's evasion and high defense. And here's the build. Counter up for more counters. Just, big bulk. The power cut card for bulk. Shift form geared identical. So she was our single target provoke tank. She also did Mirage on turn 2, because turn 2 the boss does a bunch of AoE physicals with accuracy, so we Mirage those. Also, and then we Mirage the other ones on turn 6 with Chizuru. Sid, completely naked, he jumped on turn 1, get out of here. Chizuru in the base form is Evasion, Obsidian Embracer, some auto mitigation, regeneration, just, support stuff in the base form, whatever, not really geared for damage. Shift form is where it's at. LB damage, a source of guts. We didn't actually need that. That was like a safety measure, but whatever. So a source of chain cap up, LB damage, Tyvis' Spirit, chain speed increase with Prodigious Performer, and a good card. There we go. 10,000 attack power, maxed LB, maxed Beast, maxed Insect, and Chizuru. Like I said, did the double Mirage on turn 6 for the AoE with accuracies. And Chizuru was also Evasion. 50% Evasion is all we actually need because we do accuracy down with Sky. And then Shift Form Sky, using the Dark Bow for guaranteed blind. If you don't have the Dark Bow, you could use like Summer Whip or something, equip Whip. It's not guaranteed, but if you don't have the Dark Bow, you don't have it. Other than that, some just, usual stuff. As you can see, Saintly Castle, etc. Tyvis' Spirit, obviously important. And then a good card. Shift Form is LB damage versus Beast and Insect. Spear build, chain cap up. She has 50% evasion naturally. Source of Guts. A Source of Guts is important because on turn 5, she basically kind of dies to the damage over time. But that saves her. The Guts will save her, so you're good. And then there we go. And then she's got maxed LB, maxed Beast, and maxed Insect. And then, the last person was Kefka, who was completely naked, and he literally hid every turn. And his hide is kind of annoying because it's a random duration, 1 to 3 turn hide, and he kept coming back early because he really wanted to join the fight. But I wanted to do a legitimate 4-unit only clear. There it was. That was just for fun. You can very, very, very definitely add 2 extra units and make this pretty easy to cap. Okay, have fun. See you next time.